Here is a graph representing an exponential function f. The function f gives the value of a computer in dollars as a function of time, x, measured in years since the time of purchase. Can you use the graph to determine the purchase price of the computer? Since x is measured in years since the time of purchase, the function's value when x equals 0 would be the value of the computer at the time of purchase. When x equals 0, y equals 400, so the computer cost $400 at the time of purchase. What is the value of f when x is 1? When you want to know the value of a function for a given x value, you are looking for the y value from the graph. Find where x equals 1 on the graph, and then determine the y value of the point. When x equals 1, y equals 200. What is the meaning of f of 1? F of 1 is function notation that means the function value when the x value is 1. We just determined that when x equals 1, y equals 200, so f of 1 equals 200. The graph represents the value of a computer over time, so f of 1 in the context of the problem means that after 1 year, the computer is worth $200. Looking at the graph, describe how the value of the computer is changing each year. Based on the shape of the graph, we can say that the value of the computer is decaying exponentially. Based on the values that are labeled, you can see that the computer loses half of its value each year. This means that the constant ratio would be 1/2. Write an equation that defines f. Since we've determined that f is an exponential function, the equation will have the form f of x equals the initial value of the computer times the constant ratio raised to the x power. We know the computer's initial value was $400 and that the constant ratio is 0.5. Those numbers can be substituted to give the equation. Once you have the equation, you can easily find the value of the computer at any time. Will the value of f reach 0 after 10 years? X equals 10 is not provided on the graph, but we can use the equation to think it through. The value of f is 400 times 1/2 to the x, but there is no way that 1/2 to the x will ever be 0. It will eventually get very close, but it will never reach 0. Therefore, 400 times some number that is not 0 cannot possibly be 0. The answer is no. F will not reach 0 after 10 years. We could also substitute 10 in for x in our equation and find f of 10 is about 39 hundredths. Since that is the value of the computer, 39 hundredths represents a value of 39 cents. So we have confirmed that the value of the computer will not reach 0 after 10 years.